Man, this lecture just seems to be going forever. And it's in your most hated subject. It's math. Whatever, we'll just stick with it then. You look up again, and the teacher asks a simple question. And so, what's 2 times 12? And so you know it. So, you're like, whatever, you raise your hand. And the teacher points to you, and you respond, 48.
Oh no!
You hear it? They're all laughing at you. What are they saying? Then you start to think to yourself, why am I caring so much of what other people are thinking of me right now? And see, it doesn't really, I'm pretty sure this scenario that I kind of gave to you as a sample, it's happened to me. This scenario has happened to me. And I'm pretty sure it's happened to you before too. It's really common, honestly. The teacher asks you a question and you just respond with, well, this is what it is. And you think that's the right answer, but then you figure out it's the wrong answer. And it doesn't have to stop at school. Maybe this keeps on continuing. And it really does for most. See, let's say after you graduate, maybe from high school or college, you all of a sudden leave. And then your parents are asking you, why haven't you got a job yet? Why haven't you been like Jeffrey? Jeffrey's already got a job. And you just think to yourself, well, I've only been out of school for like 3 months. And so you apply like no other, and eventually you get the job. And so once you get the job, you start working there, and then another 3 months passes by, and maybe your mom, why don't you have a significant other? Jeffrey's already married. They're about to have kids. And so you think, they're kind of right. And I am really falling behind. So then you go out there, you get out of your comfort zone, you meet somebody, and somebody who accepts you for all your flaws, and they do the same for you. And they make you a better person too. And so you two decide to go start dating, and eventually you guys get married. And then again, the cycle continues. Why don't you have kids? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we better go have kids. So then you have kids. And all this happens and it continues. And then all of a sudden, on just one day, you look up after having your lunch and you look at your life, and it feels like not even one decision was really yours. Your life doesn't even feel like yours to even begin with. It just feels like a culmination of everybody else's opinion of where you should be at. So why do we care so much of what other people think? Well, common symptoms of this is self-doubt, people-pleasing, and even stifling your true self, not being who you really are. Just because if you are, you're afraid of, if you become or be who you really are, everybody around you is just going to reject you and leave, which is natural. It's how we've been since evolution started. We've always hunted in groups. So if you were casted away, there's a good chance you'd go out and die. But there are also occasions where you should care what other people think, like not wearing white to a wedding unless it's requested. Or maybe there's a religious garment or a dress code that you should be wearing if you're coming into this sacred place. Those are the things that really let our society run as a whole and just let the wheels of life just keep on going. But the two common things that I see a lot of people have and struggle with, and I'm not gonna lie, I've struggled with these two myself. Even now, it's like a non-ending battle. You fight it down and it comes back up like a weed. So I'm not saying this is just gonna be done all in one day. First one, I call it a pseudo life. It's a life that was crafted for you by others' opinions. See, just like that person that I described in the beginning of this video, their life, they looked up and they realized that this life doesn't even feel like my own. I've just listened to other people's opinions so much that I didn't even listen to my own. And by the end of it, when I looked up, I don't even know really who I am. And maybe that's you. And it's not uncommon. And it doesn't mean that you have to keep on continuing living this way. I had a moment in my life that was like that. And it was one of the hardest times to go through and to say no to certain things and to certain people that I cared about deeply. But if you're not really living the true life of who you are, then are you really living? That's what I would ask yourself. Second one, shell of yourself. So what is really shell of yourself? Is it just like a snail and it's just like you're just a random shell, or, little Gary vibes from SpongeBob? Well, no. What I mean by this is it's self-doubt. It's fear of judgment. You are afraid of, if you do become your true self, then others are going to just reject you and leave you. And I am not better than anybody else about this. This happens to me all the time. But in a weirdly awesome way, I've learned that if you come out to your friends and your family of just who you are, it actually makes those relationships flourish. See, having the courage to be open and to not fear can actually and does lead to you having deeper relationships. But the number one thing that I want you to really get out of this video is this. You can change nobody else's opinions about you. Just like in that beginning, they couldn't change any of the opinions or any of the laughter or any of the giggles or the whispers or what other people thought about them. You'll never be able to change that. But the only thing that you can change and the only thing that you can control is yourself. And know that. And if you know that, trust me, for me in my life, once I realized that, it started to feel like I was living my own life and started to care a lot less what others thought about. Because by doing that, you live a lot more freer and the world's a lot more of a beautiful place, you'll come to realize. I hope this video was helpful. Even if it's helpful for even one person, that's always why we have this channel. Is because I hope that even one of these videos if they can just help one person, that's all I hope to do. All right, I'll see y'all later.